Welcome to my next UFC predictions video as we have UFC 306 on Saturday, September 14th, Noche UFC. Just going to give my predictions for the main card, and remember, as always, that the card is subject to change, meaning the injuries can happen and placements of fights can also change. Before I give my predictions, though, just want to cover a few things. If you're a fan of the UFC and you like reaction videos as well as prediction videos, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please hammer fist that like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on my predictions for UFC 306. Any predictions that you have of your own, any future fight predictions that you have, or future fights that you want to see, leave all that stuff in the comments section. Other video suggestions are fine as well. And remember, I react to fights as well. So about an hour after the card is over with, approximately, I'll post my first reaction of UFC 306, which will probably be the main event. Sometimes I have to pivot to the co-main event, depending on if I get a copyright strike or something like that, which does happen occasionally. Not many times, but I get like one or two a year, like it happened with Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards too, so I couldn't post that fight right away. I had to wait at least 48 hours from the time that I actually got it ready and then set the date where I wanted it to premiere. But you'll see them eventually. I theoretically should not have any copyright strikes at all. I don't do anything that's against any kind of policy, but I get them anyway. It's like an algorithm detects something that says UFC 306 on it, and then it flags it. But nonetheless, I'll post my reaction to the first fight. And then, depending on how good the card is, the next fight might be later on that next morning at like 7 a.m., or I might wait till the following morning. But I'll do one today at least until I get all the fights done. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, you're watching the video anyway, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, share your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV. So kicking things off in the main card in the flyweight division, a fight that I don't really know a lot about the fighters. I did a little film study, but not enough probably. We have Ode Osbourne versus Rolando Rodriguez. Rodriguez just won his debut in the UFC with a rear naked choke. Ode Osbourne is kind of on his way out, in my opinion. He's lost, 3 out of his last 4 fights. He's kind of, I've heard the name before, but I can't recall a specific moment with him that I remember it. So it's like a name that's been floated around. I'm going to go with Rolando Rodriguez to win the fight, even though he's going to have a way lower reach advantage and a slight height disadvantage. But I am picking Rolando Rodriguez to win. He'll probably try to grapple, and he'll get a choke or some sort of submission on Ode Osbourne. We shall see, but that's who I'm predicting, Rolando Rodriguez to win the fight. Next up in the lightweight division, we have a stud in Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. This could be a really fun fight. Now, Zellhuber is really good. He's kind of like a point fighter. He's got a vicious reach advantage in this fight. He's obviously got the height advantage. Not a really big height advantage, but he does have an advantage. But a 77-inch reach compared to a 69-inch reach. The problem with Zellhuber, he hasn't had a big moment in the UFC yet. He's won some fights by decision. He's really good, though, with knees and strikes. But I'm going to pick Ribovics to win the fight. I think he's going to hit him with some shots because he's going to have to get close to Zellhuber to win the fight. He's going to have to get in there in the phone booth and then throw what he has against him. But I'm going to go with the upset in this fight. Ribovics to win the fight. It could go either way. It's kind of a 50-50 for me. I'm really impressed with Esteban in this fight, and Zellhuber's really good. I just don't know if he can finish guys. It would be a completely different story, and he might get a knee to finish Ribovics. Who knows? But I'm going to go with Ribovics to win the fight. That's my underdog, one of my underdog picks for the card. And then next up in the featherweight division, a fight that we almost got, but it got canceled the day of the card. Brian T. City Ortega versus Diego Lopez. This should be a fun fight. Obviously, both these guys are heavy on grappling, but Diego Lopez can kind of do it all. I mean, he can strike with the best of them, and he's really impressive thus far in the UFC, where Brian Ortega, he's getting up there in age. I mean, he's only 33. He's gonna be shorter than Diego, 5'11 versus 5'8. And the reach advantage is slightly higher for Diego Lopez at 72.5 versus Brian Ortega's 69-inch reach advantage. I am going to pick Diego Lopez to win this fight. I'm really high on Diego Lopez right now. I think he's the new stud in the featherweight division, and I feel like he's close to earning a number one contender fight title shot. And this might be for a title shot. You don't know how booking's going to go in the UFC, so I'm going with Diego Lopez to win the fight and be high up in the rankings. And then next up in the co-main event of the evening for the Women's Flyweight Championship, we have the former champion Valentina Shevchenko versus the current champion Alexa Grasso. They fought twice in a row. Grasso won the first fight by that vicious choke, and then the second fight was a draw, which I thought, and I haven't rewatched the fight, I thought Valentina Shevchenko won the fight, and that's what a lot of people thought. It was some home cooking by some judges. That kind of stuff happens. And now Valentina Shevchenko saying that she's going to have to finish Alexa Grasso just because of the home cooking. I mean, Grasso is really good, and her training partner is Diego Lopez, but it's Valentina Shevchenko. As long as Valentina Shevchenko doesn't make a mistake where she turns around and then gives up her back to Grasso, I feel that like Valentina Shevchenko is going to win this fight because she can strike and she can take you down, and that's a good combination. She's very evenly good at both things, in my opinion. Where Grasso, she's really good, but I feel like her takedown defense won't be there, and I think that's Valentina Shevchenko's path to victory. But she might be able to win in another way. But I am going with Shevchenko to win the fight. Where I'm at, I don't know. It's like 60-40. I just feel like Grasso's good, but I don't think she's that good, and she got lucky in the first fight. Call me crazy. Just my opinion. And then in the main event of the evening for the men's bantamweight championship, we have the challenger, Merab Dvalishvili, versus the reigning, defending UFC bantamweight champion, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Obviously, we know what Merab's going to do. He's going to try to take Sean O'Malley down at all costs, and he won't give up trying to take him down. Single legs, double legs, clinching up against the cage. That's what he's going to try to do. Sean O'Malley's really good on the feet. We really haven't had to see him do much as far as defending takedowns. Even the fight against Aljamain Sterling, which went almost 2 rounds, Sterling only attempted 2 takedowns in that fight. I think Sean O'Malley's going to win. He's going to catch Merab with either a knee or a shot in sleep. Merab Dvalishvili, I don't know. It's more like 50-50 in my opinion, but I'm giving the slight edge to Sean O'Malley because I think there's a lot that we haven't seen yet from Sean O'Malley. I think he's evolving his game and he's better than what we think. That's just my opinion. Merab has really gotten entertaining as of late, but I just don't want to see Merab as the champion, a guy that's just going to go for takedowns all the time. So those are my predictions for UFC 306, and I highly admit to the fact that I don't know a lot about the 2 guys, or the 4 people at the bottom of the main card. I did some research on the Zellhuber versus Ribovic fight, but Osborne versus Rodriguez, I didn't have an hour to look at everything, but I'm solid with my predictions in my opinion. So just know that I don't watch the fight night cards usually unless there's somebody that I really like. So I guess that makes me a casual fan. I order all the pay-per-views except for UFC 301. And typically I only watch the main card because I just don't have time. So those are my predictions. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but if you're a fan of the UFC and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you hammer fist that like button for this UFC 306 Noche UFC video. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Please don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this card. Predictions you have, future fight predictions that you have, future fights that you want to see. Is Dustin Poirier going to fight Colby Covington? That's the rumor. And of course, remember to come back to the channel for my reactions to fights. I'll put some reaction videos right here, here, and here. I'll put Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prohaska too, right there for sure, because it's the most popular video on my channel. And then other random fights that you may be interested in. And then, of course, again, Last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching this video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, share your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDEV TV.